All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us get started. We are all excited. I am excited to welcome you all to the Big Pitch Night, which features our future founders and their new businesses. On behalf of the Business Innovation and Growth Center and the College of Business and Technology, we welcome you to the Big Center at NEIU, which opened in May of 2023. Big Center's mission is to empower entrepreneurs to dream, create, and grow their businesses among forward-thinking creators and doers. I am incredibly proud of my alma mater for making big a priority. Like this conversation started like almost a decade ago. So I'm really excited for this thing to be here. I'm Dr. Jay Fulgencio. I am an educator, researcher, and business professional with over a decade of experience in the startup world. I'm actually a graduate here of Northeastern. And I'm jealous that they didn't have the dorms when I was here because I basically lived on campus. So I'm glad that this place has grown. And also of Oklahoma State University, go Pokes, where I completed my PhD in education and a master's in entrepreneurship. I am the founder and president of LearnGenics, a learning and development solutions company. And I would like to mention that I also am giving out 2 courses to the participants of today's program. So good thing I have your email, so look out for that email. I'd love to first introduce Jessica Mueller, who I've known for a long time as well. She's the executive director of the Big Center, who is thrilled to lead the future of business development through the community-focused Business Innovation and Growth Center. She is also a fellow NEIU grad too, and of course, she has a rich history working in higher education and currently manages the Big Center. Jessica also manages the advancement within the College of Business and Technology. We also want to thank Big Center graduate assistant Mirza Beg, who is not here today, but in spirit, he is with us through this course. So he's in India. So he's in India, right? In spirit through India. So yeah, I should have recognized that. So Jessica, please come on up to say a few words.
Cue spot. I always forget. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I deeply appreciate your support of the center, of the Big Center. You know, we are growing day by day and with all our might to be a resource for not only our students, which a lot of incubators focus on, but our alumni, faculty, staff, and community that Northeastern is a part of in our neighborhoods from north side to, well, it's also probably north. I would El Centro neighborhood, Avondale, and then of course Bronzeville. Thank you to the Carruthers Center for creating a home for us here. It was a really great moment to be able to create this space in Bronzeville to help, you know, be a space, a co-working space for and a business resources for budding businesses here. But it's not just here, it's across the city, across the state. Eventually one day, not even in this country, we'll be able to support business success and economic success within a variety of different spaces and places. It's been a pleasure working with all of our participants this semester. Special thanks to Laura and Fernando, who is joining us via Zoom today. So they're back and we'll be pitching today. For completing the class, it's a big commitment. And as it should be in some ways, I've always said that about becoming a parent. It should be a big commitment to change your life. And that's what this course also does for individuals who want to start, their journey as a founder, right? I want to prepare you to not have to hit the hurdles, to not waste your money, and to mitigate some of the risks as you go out into this wild landscape that is Chicago. And hi, Heather. Hi, Max. That's Fernando's family. Hi. The wild landscape that is owning your own business within Chicagoland and beyond. This Chicago is it's great, but it also will push you to your limits, as we all know. Maybe Wesley and Kieran,
Yeah.
you're just, as recent transplants, you'll get to know us. It'll be a thing, but incredibly proud, every semester, I'm sorry, every time I run this, and I speak in semesters, so I work in higher ed, but I learned so much from our participants and our instructors. Yes, I hear some of the same things, right, as I'm sitting through, but every semester I learn more and more, and that's part of my professional development to be able to serve the individuals who come to the center. Thank you to our judges today, and Jay will do the same, but I appreciate you being here. Vince is part of our strategic advisory board. Both Charlie and Jesse have been participants in the center and grads from this course. Each one of you, I know in different ways, but are part of this community and this family that we're building here. And it's really meaningful. So I hope that we will continue on what we're doing and providing education and support individuals need as they move forward this new venture and adventure in their life. And just happy to see everybody today pitch and have a good time and celebrate all the hard work that you've put in. So congratulations. And thank you to Dr. J for hosting today as our MC. So have a good time. And like I've always told everybody in this cohort, you know your business better than anyone else. So own it. You've put the work in. And we're just ready to hear and celebrate you. So yes. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Jessica, for those really nice words. So with the launch of the Become Your Own Boss business planning course, it has been so exciting to watch students, alumni, and staff create, strategize, test, and market brand new businesses. So what is becoming your own boss? So we're going to show you this amazing video to tell you what this course is all about. Please play. No. There we go. All right. Awesome. So each of our founders has an exciting story tonight and business solution for the problems they face in their communities. They have each spent 15 weeks and countless hours working through a challenging curriculum, answering difficult questions, and experiencing uncomfortable yet personal growth. And they have a feasible cross-examined business plan to make a dream of business ownership a reality. Of course, none of it could have been possible without our amazing instructors, mentors, coaches, strategic advisors, and special guests. It has been a great year thus far of delivering entrepreneurial expertise through curriculum, expanded resources, and partnerships and one-on-one coaching. So I want to begin by thanking some of our amazing partners. I want to start off by Steve Yang from CIBC Bank. Steve here? No. Well, he's with us here. He's part of the right, and so in spirit, right? So he's part of our community developer small business lending team. And of course, he's approved our program participants to apply for the entrepreneur loan program, which is a great way to finance a company. I'll also like to recognize Linda Del Bosque. Is she here today?
Yeah.
Linda. She is the editor-in-chief of Chicago Latina Magazine, so you better check out that magazine. It's a great magazine. She she is at yeah, we have some we have a copy or copies here, so make sure you take one before you leave. She sponsored Laura's participation. Laura is one of our participants here. She was working on the course and will continue to partner with the Big Center's work to develop their entrepreneurial community. So Linda, thank you very much. And to J&L Catering for their amazing food tonight, which looks very amazingly delicious. Oh. And so thank you to the center's donors, who you can see here on this board, and the Carruthers Centers for giving us a home. And of course, to the Illinois Innovation Voucher Program for supporting two founders with R&D for 2025. Also, if you're interested in donating, please come talk to Jessica Mueller afterwards. So we will take your cash and money and resources. All right. So please do so. So and now I want to thank and introduce and talk a little bit about our amazing instructors. Our first one here is Dr. Charles Funk, who is back here. So Dr. Funk, who actually kicked off the course with nearly so he kicked off the course. He has nearly 30 years of overall management and teaching experience at NEIU, for over 20 years of experience in energy and telecom, and 7 years of running a small business. So what he did during his session is he set the foundations of the business model canvas, and he talked to competitive analysis and learned about industry benchmarking. So the very basic foundations of getting these folks ready for their pitch, and of course, not only for that, but for their business. And then we have Kristen Evans, let's give her a applause. She led the cohort through marketing and sales activities based on consumer insights and tactics. She's an award-winning consumer behavior researcher and insight strategist with over 15 years of leading high-level marketing strategy, brand, and portfolio management. She's worked with companies such as P&G and Kraft Foods Group, and she is serving as a managing partner and VP of technology and client services at the Embedded Group. So a round of applause for Kristen Evans. Lanisha Moheb, so she is a 10+ year experience and degreed in corporate accounting, partnering with women-owned businesses and corporations to grow their businesses through financial processes. She holds a bachelor's in accounting, an MBA, and a master's in human resource management. Lanisha has led the cohort through financial statements and understanding how to make their businesses profitable. So Lanisha, that is a very tough job, accounting, the accounting process. So understanding your numbers. And that is me. So it was actually cold that day out in here. It was like a meat cooler in here from from the meat packing industries out here. So it was really cold. So I led the last module, the last part. So I helped them create a pitch deck. So I myself have pitched before as well. So back at Oklahoma State, back in the days, they used to have like this $25,000 pitch competition. The first year we won first place with a biotech company. The second year I won the best social venture award. And I also done it 1 million cups. If you ever heard of that organization, 1 million cups to the Kauffman Foundation. Great. They have throughout the country, and I pitched there as well at the Tulsa one there. So I led them through making sure that they were ready for their pitch presentations. So are you excited to begin the pitches tonight? All right. So we have two amazing pitches tonight. The ground rules are there's no more than 5 minutes to pitch. Then we'll have 5 minutes of Q&A with the judges. So judges, make sure that you have your questions ready to go. This isn't Shark Tank where you're like Mr. Wonderful, don't like kill them, right? Provide them feedback, ask them some good questions to think about. And then of course I'll give about a minute or two to submit your feedback. And at the end of all the presentations, all of you in the audience will get to do a selected People's Choice Award. So at the end, there'll be a QR code. You scan it and then you vote for who you thought the best person was. Tonight's session is recorded, so please keep your electronics of course, on vibrate or mute. So I would like to introduce our judges, right? So I'm going to introduce Jesse Rushman, right? He's an experienced educator and former science instructor, college access, and successful professional and program manager. He is currently the assistant director for TRIO Student Support Services here at NEIU with over a decade experience. And he's also a graduate of this program, actually the first cohort. So round of applause. And so yes, right. So he's the founder and CEO of StrengthsSpace, which is a platform offering personalized personal and professional development tools for college students and professionals. So that is strengthspace.app, strengthspace.app. So make sure you check that app out. Then we have Vincent J. Williams here. J. Vincent Williams is the founder of JV Williams Consulting, LLC, which is a results-driven senior level executive with a diverse range of skills and extensive experience across many industries. As an educator, motivator, mentor, business connector, relationship cultivator, inclusion expert, and transformation business consultant. Man, I feel like I'm in club station. Vincent brings 20 years of tremendous insight, experience, and expertise to the business community, and also he serves as a Big Center strategic advisor. Yeah. And last but not least, also a graduate of the Big Center here is Charlene Jefferson Johnson, right? She began her event planning career in 1996, where she was part of the events logistics trade show design team for TY Inc. That's right, the Beanie Baby company. If y'all remember those, when people would remember those Beanie Babies, people would beat themselves up for it. Yes. And the McDonald's line was out the door for those things. Charlene also worked as a conference service planner at Eaglewood Resort and Spa, and also working at the National Black MBA Association as a contracted events and corporate partner liaison. Charlene is the owner and lead designer for C2 Detail Events and Concierge Services that began in 2005. And as I mentioned, she was part of this cohort to add a new luxury bed and breakfast venue 1205. So thank you. Well, thank you, judges, for being here. So let us welcome our first pitch participant, who is actually going to be via screen behind us. So if we can all turn around.
All right. Well, thank you. I wish I could be there with you in person. I'm pitching La Estreya, a civic media company focused on uplifting Hispanic communities in Chicagoland and the businesses that serve them. The challenges are real. We currently have a pretty wide vacuum, a large vacuum of no news for Hispanics in Chicago. We have a couple of big players in television and in radio, a couple of walking skeletons in former print publications, but there really isn't a media entity or a media brand that can champion the Hispanic community. We are facing terrifying new administration that promises to tear families apart. There will be tremendous need to inform people, educate people, and empower people. And that is what I intend to do with La Estrella. At the same time, there are not enough affordable marketing solutions for independent businesses, as Hispanic and independent media that serves Hispanic communities has dried up. It's mean that most businesses have to try advertising online or can't afford to do so on radio and TV. But there's a tremendous opportunity. There are almost 2 million Latinos, Latinas, Latinx in Chicagoland. There are thousands of independent, locally owned businesses, small, medium businesses here in Chicagoland who are dying for these services. There are creators and new media journalists who need a platform to expose themselves and to help engage local communities on news and information. And there are diverse, bilingual, bicultural communities throughout our city. There are also tremendous resources that need to be connected so that people can better understand how to navigate life here in Chicagoland. Who will we serve? This is the largest growing minority in Chicagoland. There are literally billions of dollars in purchasing power across education. Hispanics make up 29% of CPS, healthcare, housing, and as I mentioned, legal services. We are socioeconomically diverse at every single level of the economic ladder. We are entrepreneurs, we are new media, we are creators, and ultimately, we need to help each other. And so the purpose is to create this platform to do just that. How will we do that? We will launch a brand new media brand, a new print publication that will be tangible, distributed through the city in high density Hispanic communities. We'll be producing social audio and video. Will be a digitally native publication, so accessible on any device. And we'll partner with nonprofits and social agencies that have a vested interest in supporting these communities. We'll also engage in viral out-of-home campaigns using wheat pasting, posters, lamp posts, stickers, and we'll be doing direct mail. So being able to build first-party data to very surgically target households that identify as Hispanic or that are in Hispanic communities. How we make it work, print is still actually a really cost-effective medium for distributing information. The internet, for all of its ills, has made things a lot more affordable to do. So putting together a newspaper, a website, a newsletter, a podcast, and a video channel can be done for relatively cheaply. It'll be me on this team, along with a team of contractors and contributors. And the opportunities for advertising will be across all of these platforms. So we'll be the first media in Chicago serving the Hispanic community that can touch all of these points. I'm Fernando Diaz. I'm 2 decades in journalism. I'm currently an educator at Columbia College Chicago. And as of 2 weeks ago, I purchased a newspaper in South Holland, which has helped inform some of the metrics in this data. I work with young journalists all over the city, some of which who are at Columbia College Chicago, others who are at NEIU, at the Independent, at Northwestern, at DePaul. So there's no shortage of talent that needs a platform. Freelancers also throughout Chicagoland and local businesses who are tired of being disrupted by the internet. How can you help? You can connect me with independent businesses that need marketing and services and advertising services. You can invite me to speak to an alumni association, our chamber of commerce, or local school council. A friend of mine recently used Honeycomb to raise money for his project. So I'm going to be setting up a campaign to raise $120,000 to launch La Estreya. And you can call me or email me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I got a question first, but I'm working. I need a minute.
That's all right. Good job, Fernando.
Yes.
Very good job. Can you hear it? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Kudos. So I think, again, in light of utilizing technology to present to us, can you share one thing that I was looking for or I did not hear during the presentation is the platform bilingual?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so if there's more question, I'll wait to answer more.
No, that's initially to start. We'll get you flowing.
Yeah. So bilingual media is a challenge, and I think everybody struggles with how to do it. Most media tend to print in English and in Spanish, everything. And so what you end up with is half a publication because you're just using a lot of real estate to publish in both languages. So what I'm going to be doing is publishing certain stories in English and having summarized translations available in Spanish and vice versa. So stories that are in English will have a summarized Spanish version, and stories that are in Spanish will have a summarized English version. That will help with people who are trying to learn both English and Spanish. We'll be doing bilingual crosswords, comic strips that will allow for entry points for people who are trying to learn either language. So yes, bilingual, and trying to do so in ways that meet people where they are. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Joe.
So I guess my question kind of two-part. In terms of competitor analysis, I heard you kind of talk about the big players in Latinx media, but I was curious, who else out there is also doing what you're doing maybe, or something similar, and kind of what you've observed, and then thinking a little bit more how you differentiate yourself from what they're doing.
So I would categorize the competition for this product, this brand, in three distinct areas. There's broadcast media, which is television and radio. There's internet, which is mainly communities on social platforms. So neighborhoods that have organized on Facebook, for example, and then print. And so in print, there are basically 3 or 4 very small newspapers. One is called La Prensa, which is on the west side. Lawndale News is another. El Chicago Hispano is another, and Negocios Now. So there's 4 of them. La Raza is also sort of like, that was the biggest one that unfortunately has become a very small, very thin paper that primarily is using wire services. So the way in which I would compete with the print products is by just investing in more coverage, creating things like a robust calendar that allows people to understand what's happening, publishing original journalism, which isn't happening, being able to provide a showcase for people who want to read stories from the communities. The way in which it would compete with the broadcast outlets is that I had a friend of mine who was vice president of sales at Univision, and she told me at one point that they don't bend over for $50,000 checks because it just doesn't meet their needs. Their budgets are so big, their goals are so much bigger that that's just too small of a deal for them. That's like a quarter for La Estreya, so I'll be bending over all day for $50,000 checks. So it's a matter of really identifying from a content standpoint, investing in original journalism, investing in calendaring, investing in public meeting notices so that people can be aware of how they can engage civically. On the revenue and sales side, it's providing a more cost-effective solution for folks who've been priced out of these other legacy media. And then the comparison or the competition against the fantastic Facebook communities like La Villita, Pilsen community is, at some point you're just done looking at your phone. It's just noise. You're just doom scrolling and you need to turn it off. And so having a tangible product, having big giant pictures and infographics that will just never appear on your phone, I think will help distinguish it from what you can get on these fantastic platforms, but that will differentiate it.
Question?
No, yeah, thank you, answered.
Last question, judges?
I just, can you provide feedback or just questions? Yeah, just questions for it. No, I'm all good.
All right, well, thank you, Fernando.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll take the feedback. If you, I always take the feedback. So if you get it later, I'll gladly accept it. Thank you.
So we'll be providing.
Good job, Fernando.
Yeah, we're gonna be collecting the feedback, Fernando, from the judges, and you'll be getting that information. So judges, I'll give you about 2 minutes here to feedback and the grading, while I'll give some nuggets of wisdom to the audience.
Yes, sorry, do a little
Right?
swirl
Now we can
around.
all,
Swirl around.
I'm gonna say,
In the dictionary, well. Swirl around. I like that.
I'm not gonna-
We tell I have like little kids, so I'm good.
Definitely feel free to reach out to Fernando and Blake's contact information is there. I was telling Fernando when I was talking to him that back in my days when I was Oklahoma, which by the way, I'm not from Oklahoma. I don't know why people always get confused. Like, I was there for 7 years, but I'm not from there. And I actually worked, one of my jobs in Oklahoma City was working for Nacional, which was the largest Hispanic newspaper there in Oklahoma. And so I did the sales part, and lo and behold, at that time when I was, this was back in 2013, 14ish, I actually met, small world, at that time I had met Jaime Pipao, who was the CEO of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. At that time I met him there when he was just a second in command of the Greater Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce. So my go-to story for him was always to remind him, I remember you, we had conversations, so, we always catch up about Oklahoma whenever I see him there, so it's just a small world, the reason I bring it up is because you never know what people will be 10 years from now, so don't burn your bridges and don't say anything bad about people.
Yeah.
So, and I have no bad stories about it, so.
I think you have one or two.
No, funny story is when I saw him, we were at an event that his chamber, the chamber at that time, this was Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Oklahoma City. He told me, he's like, you need a better job with benefits. At that time he was telling me, and I actually applied for a better job, took his advice for heart. Yeah, so small world. Judges, we good, or we got another, I'll give it about 30 seconds here. So, I'm truly excited for when the next person comes in here because you know she also lived in Oklahoma for about a year. So every time I talk about Oklahoma, it's always like somebody I live in Oklahoma or I know somebody from there. So it's all good on that. And then I did tell the folks, the business owners, the people that come through, and I always tell this when I got involved, it's like always make sure you have your personal account in one and your business banking account in another. Never commingle them because the IRS will find out, and I've heard horror stories about getting audited and having to go through transaction to transaction. So anyway, so we'll wrap up here. We'll get the next person to come up here. So I wanna welcome Lara de los Santos from Midwest Mestiza. So
6 months.
Ready when you are.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura, and in October of 2023, I founded my LLC, Midwest Mestiza. So a lot of people have turned to complementary and alternative medicine practices to take care of their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. People go around the globe to find resources and information to help them care for themselves and those they love. However, not a lot of people look to the history and the resources within the Americas. A lot of this history, a lot of these practices have historically been vilified and seen with a lot of suspicion. So they've also been romanticized and mysticized. Midwest Mestiza aims to demystify and normalize a lot of these traditional Mexican wellness practices through classes, products, and services. So a lot of the information for Mexican wellness can be traced all the way down through the codices. These are ancient texts. The one right here is actually one of 4 books that exist from prior to European contact here in the Americas. And this one right here was created during colonization by a Spanish priest with the help of indigenous scribes. So you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but he's discussing medicinal plants of the Americas. He's over here. These books contain ritual information, calendric information, as well as plant and medicinal information. A portion of the alternative healthcare industry that I'm looking at is this gray portion here, which is over a third, 33%, $13.8 billion. I'd like to reach Latinx folks who are looking to reconnect with their cultural heritage. People who are into complementary and alternative medicine. People who are interested in history, people who are interested in cultural traditions, and people who are interested in plants. So there are a lot of other places who provide services and products similar to mine. If you're not familiar, there exist in Chicago a lot of botanicas, which are storefronts that sell herbs and spiritual and metaphysical items. Sometimes in the back, they will provide services like tarot card readings, fortune telling, and they will help you do some manifestations. There are also a lot of individuals throughout Chicagoland. During COVID, there became a wave of women who are identifying as brujas, which is totally great, looking to these traditional practices. They can also provide tarot card readings, look to the future, and help you manifest things. So what distinguishes me? I don't do readings, I don't cast spells, and I'm not trying to make promises that I know I can't fulfill. Okay? People will know me in public view at vendor events or through someone else that they know and had experience with me. I can provide these services in the comfort of people's homes so that grandma or your aunt who has a hard time getting out of the house, or even your children, can be a part of the event, making it a family gathering. My aim is to educate and empower people with these skills to improve their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. So I offer the classes, workshops, and can do events in homes. Some of the services I provide are what are called limpias. They are spiritual energetic cleansings that can happen with incense and smoke, also known as smudging. Also sweeping or barridas that are done with plant matter. I'm sure everyone's heard about rolling an egg over people. That's real, it's really done. And fire limpias, which can be performed with candles and fire cupping. I make artisanal, vegan, and botanical soaps. I also make candles of a couple different varieties. Both of those are still in development, but they have had a bit of a following. In the future, I'd like to sell teas and swag, and ideally, I would like to host sweat lodge events like the one you see here. I will go to events, Eventbrite. I will use signs, and I would like to purchase space in perhaps the Southside Weekly and La Estreya. And of course, social media. There's my forecast for 3 years. My net profit margin is high. I haven't fully accounted for taxes, and I'm still working that out, nor have I fully accounted for employees to get some help, or product insurance. Current partners, Chicago Latina Magazine. Mwah! Thank you to Chicago Latina Magazine, Linda Del Bosque, for sponsoring me in this course. It was truly a game changer for me. And the Big Center. Jessica has assured me and makes me feel so much better that she's just an email away should I need her. And then Steeping Clay, an Elgin tea shop who has purchased my inventory of soaps on 2 occasions and is waiting for more now. And he and I recently decided that we're going to exchange goods at wholesale value. And he's invited me to be part of his February tea tastings in English and Spanish, providing herbal information. I could reach out to other mental health and as well as some mental health providers. I'm hoping to meet someone who can help me figure out where I'm going to hold all these classes and workshops. I'd like to get my products into museum stores. I could really use a mentor or advisor. This is a general gist of what I might need to kick things up a notch. And so what distinguishes me is I've had multiple generations of this practice in my family. My great grandmother came to the United States from Mexico during the Mexican Revolution and brought the skills of a midwife, herbologist, and hands-on healer that helped her survive and provide for her family, as well as helping people in her community. I've had personal experiences, been treated by, interviewed with curanderos in the United States and Mexico. I've done academic study in this topic. Most importantly, during graduate school, I began studying Yucatec Maya, which allowed me to meet several women in Yucatan, privileged me to be invited to their homes, to talk with them, and to record those. I was invited presenter at 2019 to the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. I'm bilingual, bicultural, and I was an adjunct professor teaching classes in history, humanities, and English for about 10 years. And in 2024, I began to provide these services and sell soaps at public events. That was my grandma, just to, who instilled in me that these things are important, as she used to say, with 6 kids that she had, she didn't have time for the doctor all the time. And these are the women who allowed me into their home and allowed me to speak with them in Yucatan. It was truly an honor to talk with them, and thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.
All right, judges.
Nice.
You could only provide 2 or 3 kind of services or workshops, like what would you offer?
I would offer spiritual cleansings. People really seem to respond positively to those, and it seems to be something someone once said to me, you should do it because people are looking for it, they need it. And the other would be helping people learn about herbs.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's excellent. I think I saw the slide, but if you can dive a little bit more into your ask. So what you're looking for from a financial perspective to help fund and to essentially launch this into the Chicago-based communities. Yeah, can you just dive a little bit more into that?
Sure. So primarily facility rental with improvements to make it a space of my own. So I'm looking at a monthly rental for the course of a year. Supplies, to make soaps and candles and etc.
Did you bring the soap? Got a soap?
You have to wait and see. And then of course, marketing, customer relations management, and accounting. So yeah, that's just some of the costs. I feel that there are some taxes don't play in here much. My insurance for the soaps doesn't play in here a whole lot. And the cost of getting help also needs to be a factor.
Absolutely.
So, but however, I do have 2 beautiful young women who, Julie, you want to get up and hand out? So Julie's this is my granddaughter, Julie. Say hi, Julie. Julie helped me put these together. She got out of school early today and thought she was going to study for her finals. For her midterm. And so we have a soap sample. If you don't feel like soaps, there's also candles. So, I'm sorry? Okay, so if you don't get a soap, there's candies as well. So my soaps are based on indigenous American plant oils. So they're made with avocado oil, babasu oil, cocoa butter, and soy. If you open up the packages, there's a little booklet in there that I was trying to do my take on the codices. It didn't come out exactly, but I thought it was okay.
No, it's beautiful.
And I still need design on my logo. So one of the soaps is lavender and eucalyptus, and the other is lavender and peppermint. Yeah, I love
Homemade, you do it all yourself.
Yes, it's not a melting pot.
Very
It's
What is the cost? How much
There's 1 bar of soap, so 1 entire bar of soap, which on the pieces you got are 2, so that's a half of 1 bar. So would be in a complete bar. So each bar of soap costs $4.50 because I'm using high-end oils, like babasu and avocado oil. And also the cocoa butter. I was really surprised after, because I had first purchased things during the pandemic initial stages. And cocoa butter, which is something that was supposed to be pretty reasonable, as padding, has become pricey.
Laura, is that the cost to manufacture it or that you're selling? Like
that is the cost to manufacture.
So what is the cost if I were to tell you that the retail of how much would it cost me to buy it?
So I'm looking at my bars as they are now at about $8-9 each just to recoup my cost. Like I said, they're still in development, so they're not exactly where I would like them to be aesthetically. And I haven't worked out all the kinks. Like, for example, I made a recent batch that I make soap in my basement. Well, I had to account for Chicago winter, even though I'm indoors, because it changes the humidity, it changes the temperature in the air. So I had some issues with my soaps. So, but They're beautiful. I still think they're beautiful. They smell divine. They're made out of really great materials.
What is the cost for you to produce a candle as well as what, and then what is I am a huge, I'm an event planner, so I'm a huge candle burner at home, cause that's
Yes.
just my zen.
Right.
But like, what is the burn time and how much are they for?
So I offer a couple different candles. I have a massage oil candle that is ready for use within about 10-15 minutes, and you light it up. It's made with things like cocoa butter, avocado, and jojoba, and soy, also vegan. These are also vegan, by the way. And so that is, within 10 minutes, it can be ready for use. I make some novelty candles that have about a 3 to 4 hour burn time, made out of 100% beeswax. And then I also am working on some other candles because there's been so many people producing candles during these past few years. I really have not found a unique spin that resonates with me, but I'm still keeping my eyes open. So yeah.
That's good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Feedback and score. So, so as we wrap up this last one of the things I told the folks when they were pitching, their pitch practice, not only this group but the one prior, was like having ask, right? You have to ask for something, for either financial or resources, and don't be afraid to ask for more, because it's better to shoot for 50,000 and get 25,000 than shoot for 5,000 and only get 1,000, right? So I always ask for more, and because you never know, people will actually probably just give it to you. You never know if you don't ask around. And it's always funny, like the people who are most likely to give you the resources or the financial backing are people like complete strangers, right? So that's why I say don't always rely on people you may know, because they'd be like, I don't know if I have the money or the resources, but that's complete strangers, and they'll be able to best help you out. So don't be afraid to ask. And one of the things I was telling the folks too is like, don't sell yourself short. One of the things I know, and I've seen this amongst a lot of minority business owners, is that they're scared to ask for more, or to price themselves too high. There's no such, when people are buying these Hermes bags or whatever, yeah, like $10,000, so there's money out there. You just have to find the right consumer, and market it the right way for the right consumer. So, judges, are ready? You good? All right, judges. Well, let's give another applause to the. So. All right, so now, so thank you to each one of these for sharing their passion and business. The audience will now get to vote for the People's Choice Awardee, an extra designation to celebrate your hard work. So feel free to scan the QR code or go to slido.com, that's SLIDO.com, and put in that number. So you can either do this, right, or you can scan the QR code, and it does pull up. We tried it, so. Right? He hated it. It doesn't work. So, yeah, judges go ahead. Yes, judges. And house participants, I will for myself too. So please give about a minute or so.
No, that's.
So it should work. Scan and then select, and then it will submit, and you'll be good to go.
Done.
Scan that QR code.
No, Slido.
Slido.com.
Slido.com and then
How did she do this so fast?
Slido. About another minute here. To submit. And I know Jessica is
No, it's like-
technically, telling us the numbers.
Slido, dot, okay, there we go.
A piece of it, everywhere she goes, this is her business card, and then I'm gonna remember. But for both of you, really, Fernando, seriously, it's the wedding industry is a multi-billion-dollar company. That needs to be a part of your tech, cause there's not a Latina wedding magazine.
Well, we actually are, we're in the. We actually are we're producing, it's in 2025.
See?
Yeah.
With that, we want to give out these awards here. So the People's Choice, the $2 goes to Midwest Mestiza.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah. Great. Top right.
Take one.
Top right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Put it on the wall.
Second place of $100. Midwest Mestiza.
Thank you, everyone.
So third place, of course, the $5 goes to Nice Day. Well, Fernando, make sure you get the big check.
Yes.
It'll be funny if you actually takes to the bank and say, I'm gonna cash this.
Yeah.
They won't do that. Right? So, well, thank you all, so again, join the next cohort, if you know somebody, please tell them, or sponsor them, right, to come to our next, cohort, so, again, if you're in the audience, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're just talking to Linda, and I actually want to join for our next semester.
Yeah. I met you at the international conference,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You were in the audience when we were speaking.
Yes.
I thought that was phenomenal because he was just like, so many questions you asked me. So we actually connected on LinkedIn because your professor asked you to create a LinkedIn account.
Yes.
To start, building that network. And so that's how we connected. Then we saw each other this evening. So.
Yeah, and just seeing the magazine itself, it was really like seeing Latinos shine, and how that, I mean, what nonprofit I want to help Latinos in go into higher ed.
Yeah.
So just seeing other Latinos shine and seeing that we can get there.
Yeah.
And Garo, so that was my professor. He's actually my mentor as well. He's helped me better my networking, better my speaking, attire, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
Again, these are amazing teams that are taking control of their future. So please, you can fund, mentor, coach, and support these future funders anyway. Please do so. Again, February 6th is the start dates, and so we all thank you for being here tonight. Until next time, go Golden Eagles, go NEIU. So please enjoy the food, and there are beverages back there. And now it is time to mingle and have a holiday.